A very warm welcome to the Learning Home. Today we will cover Basic Overview Part 2. So let's get started. Recap for the last week. Last week we have discussed about the tab, ribbon, groups, cell, columns. So I will go through it once again and then I will continue. So these are the called tab, and the tab has a ribbon itself, and there are multiple options inside specific tab or in each and every tab. So this is the ribbon for the home tab. This is the various groups, clipboard groups, font groups, alignment, and so on. We have also discussed what is column. So this is column. This is A column, C column, F column, so on. If you look at the horizontal line, that is 2, 4, these are called row. And if you select this one, like 1 cell, which is the intersection of B and 6, that is called cell. And you might have noticed here that's also marked as a B6. Suppose if you selected some other cell, it will change here. It's called now D6. D is intersection of column D and row number 6. In order to do our exercise, we have copied some of the information from Wikipedia, and these informations are, it's about the book and the author name and in which language it was published, when it was published, and number of books sold in million copies. So this is all about the table which we are going to work upon. And let's start with the clipboard group. And in the clipboard group we have option called cut, and the shortcut is Control X. If you go for the down, that is copy, and the shortcut is Control C, and then the paste, Control V, and then the format painter. So let's see how can we cut and paste option. So you might have seen these two are still active, but the paste option is not active here. So when you cut or copy, then only the paste option will become active. So let's see, suppose if you select two values and cut it with just selecting this tab, this option, you see the paste option became active. So when we select a cell to paste it and just click the paste option, it will paste here. But you will see a difference that those two contents are moved from its original position to a new position. So that is the feature of cut option. Suppose we don't want this one. So let's go back to the previous content. So I'll just press Control Z, that is undo function, and it will bring it to the previous place. So let's try what the copy do. I've selected this two. I've selected this two first by just with the mouse, and I'll click the mouse option. Click the copy option, and when you copy it, the paste option become active. And when you select where you want to paste it, select this cell first and paste it. You will see both contents are moved here. But you might have noticed that these two contents are already there itself. So basically it's just a duplication of information. So that is the difference between cut and copy option. Cut is just cutting the information. Copying is duplicating the information at different place. So keep in mind that's the difference. Format painter is its name itself, it's basically painting the format. Suppose this 2 cell has a different font size, and this 2 has a different, but we don't like this. We want this 2 to be like these 2 values. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this first, because I'm going to copy the format of this one to this 2. So first I select and then click this format painter. So the Microsoft Excel has recorded that we are going to copy the format of this 2 cell, and now it is asking where you want to where the changes you want to make. So you see there is a plus icon, plus option, plus a brush option. So if this is there, then the Microsoft Excel has already keeping in its memory or record or whatever you call it. So now what you have to do, you have to go there and just select these 2 cells, and you see these 2 cells changed as these 2. So that is the very important feature in Microsoft Excel. Now let's move to the font group. And in the font group, what we have is the font style, font size, and much more to play around. So let's see. This is all about the font type. Suppose if you want to change this font type to something else, like something like this. You see there is a difference between this and this. If you want to change the size from 10 to 12, 13 or 8, that you can change by numbers, it will keep changing. Similarly, if you want to do the same thing, there is another option, increase font size and decrease font size. Then you can just increase font size by just clicking one time. If you click once, it will change the size. You can see the difference, changing, increasing the value. If you go for the right, that is the decrease font size, and just click once, it becomes smaller. So that is all about the increase and decrease font size. Coming to the downward, that is the bold, italic, underline, and there is another option called double underline. So what the bold can do is basically making the content bold, and if you want to make it bold, just click it once. And if you don't want it to be remain as a bold, just click it one more time. Then it has gone, going back to the previous option. This is all about italics. Suppose you want to make it italic, just click it once. You don't want it, click it one more time. Similarly, look at the underline and with the single line below. So you see there is a single line here, and if you don't want it, just click it one more time. Similarly, double underline. You see there is a double underline here now. If you want it, let it be like this. If you don't want it, click it one more time. It is gone. So I've clicked it one more time, so I'll let it go. Now let's look at both the bottom border and other options too. So here is, suppose this is a table for us, and if you want to make a line all around, thick border line. So let's see how it is going to help us. So let's look at a little bit detail here. Here is the underline. So basically when you select it, this will become highlighted. There is a line here. If this is selected, it is similar as on top that will be a line. This is right border, means it will be a right line here. If there is outside border, that will be border outside. So let's see how does it work. I'm going to select this thick outside borders. So you see there is a thick outside borders now. There is a line here, we can't see here, but there is. Suppose we don't want it, just no border. Similarly, if you want a double border there below, you have to select first this content first, and then select it. You see there is a double border here. Right, last time we have selected here also, so we will remove it. No border there. So you can then there is a multiple option. You can choose an option and play around. Like suppose we want a double line outside, and internally we want something like this. Sorry, what is the problem? Because we have selected only one cell. So let's select first all the complete table, go to the more borders, and now do our work. Double line, double line, double line, and internally what we want is like this. You see there is a double line outside, and internally there is another light line. So you can change as per your convenience and preference. Now let's move to the theme color. So suppose if you want to highlight this topic with something like this, then you just go there, select the content, and select this option with the whatever color you want to choose. Similarly, this is all about the changing the font color. So in font color now it's black, Suppose if you want to change to some other color like this, just go and select it, it will change it. Similarly, if you want to remove this one, then another option is that you have to go select no fill, it is gone. Similarly, if you want to change to other color, select everything and go back to the whatever color you want to choose, or the theme color or automatic color. It will go back to the previous setting. Now let's look at the alignment option. And in the alignment option, what we are going to do is it's all about aligning the content in the cell. So this is the top alignment, middle alignment, and the bottom alignment. So let's look at what does it do. If we select it, you see there is a selection of middle alignment. So most of the contents are middle aligned, and what the middle alignment means is the content is in the middle of the cell. Content is in the middle of the cell. So suppose if you want to make it top aligned, means this content will move on the top of the cell here in this area. So let's look, what does it work, how does it work. See, everything is moved on the top. Let's look at the bottom alignment. If you select it, everything moves downward. Similarly, this is another option to orientation of the letters, I think I should say. So if you select it like this, you say to change like this, it will change like this, different orientation. So if you want to change to the normal, you see it is aligned like this. Suppose you want to change to the previous one, which was like this, then you have to select it, and then it became to the normal. So this is the basically, sometimes you will need to make it vertical. So this is another good feature, to make it vertical and horizontal text. This is all about again alignment, but in the horizontal direction. So let's look at the, if you select everything, you might have seen this is again center aligned. So suppose you want to change it to the align left, and see everything has moved to the left hand side. Similarly, middle, right. This is another feature to increase and decrease indent. So let's see what does it work. If you want to increase the indent, you have to move it, increase the indent. It is basically increasing the indent. And if you want to decrease the indent, just select it, it will move. It's the same thing as the previous one, but slowly and steadily. So we will go back to the center alignment and middle and center alignment, which it was previously. This is another called wrap text, and you might have seen it says A, B, and C has gone down. So suppose here our column width is lower, and you see you are not able to see the whole content here. So suppose if you want to wrap it, you see the difference? It has wrapped inside in the cell, and we can see everything. So that is all about the wrap text. Merge center is basically merging two cell and making it in center. So suppose there is a content here, you can merge and center. So now let's move to the cell group and see what does it offer to us. It says, suppose if you want to insert a cell here, if you have many suppose content and you want to insert a cell, just insert a cell. And it is asking shift cell down, or entire row you want, or entire column you want, or shift cell down. So we want an entire row. See, we will see it more clearly here. So let's see. If you want to insert a row, insert a cell, and entire row. See, there is an entire row is selected here, and there is a new row is inserted. Similarly, if you want to insert rows here, so let's click it. There is another row is inserted here. Suppose we want to insert a column here. There is another column is inserted. So this is all about the inserting rows, cells, and column. This is all about again delete option. It can delete Similarly, cells, contents inside the cell, delete sheet rows, delete sheet columns, and even delete sheet. Sheet is the whole sheet itself. Uh, this is another one I think I should focus on. This is all about the format and the row height and the column height, column width, default width. So suppose if you might have noticed that the row height here is smaller than the row height here. So let's look at what is the row height here, and you can just select this first, right click, and then row height, and says 25.9. Look at this value, what is there? Row height is 30, and if you want to make everything 25, select everything, right click, row height, and because there is a difference value, nothing is showing here, so make it 25. Everything has gone a little bit squeezed and become a little smaller. Similarly, if you look at all the column width is very different. Look at the column width, 12.87, 14.73. Let's make everything 15. So select everything, put it. Now everything has every column has a common width. So I think that is all about today's discussion, and I would like to say thank you for your time and efforts.